All right, I'm back again, and today I'm gonna share a little bit of knowledge on business. There's a couple bit ideas on business that in 2024 or 2025 or whatever year you're listening to this, or that almost never fails. They have a high success rate, and if you're looking for a business that's rock solid business plan and high success rate, then I'm gonna give you some right now. I think I'll give y'all seven. Um, Now, business often generate returns that is excess of 30%. So if you put $100,000 in, you should get 130,000. Um, but stats approximate 20% of new business fail the first 2 years. So that's just a heads up. And 45% during the first 5 years will fail. And in the first 10 years, 65% of business will fail. And that's so everyone knows that most business fail within the first 10 years. And if you can get past 10 years, you're doing pretty well. But let's move forward and let's see some of the business ideas. But before I go into that, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a business consultant. Before you go into any of these businesses, please consult with a proper lawyer, financial advisor, or whoever can help you out on this. But just, I'm going to reiterate, 20% of business fail the first 2 years of being open. 45% of business fail the first 5 years, and 65% of business fails during the first 10 years. So before you become an entrepreneur, know that the odds are against you to last 10 years. It's a high 65% of fail rate. Um, Now, the very first one that can make you pretty successful is vending machines. Vending machines has a very low cost entry, and you can pretty much do pretty well off of it. You just have to do the hard part and find a vending machine like this. So you can find used ones like this or new ones like this and make pretty good money. And you can also go on, like, just look up vending machines for sale, and then you can find, you can buy brand new ones for 3,600. You can buy one for $1,000. You can buy used ones for like $400 or $500, and you can make pretty good money. The downside of a vending machine business is, to be honest, it's you have to call a lot of places to get one machine in. But the success rate of a vending machine business is 90%, according to the source. So you have 90% chance of having a very successful business as a vending machine owner. Now, that saying is, I didn't say it was going to be easy. I just say a success rate. So you have a 90% success rate open up a vending machine business, and you just have to find places that let you, put your vending machine there. And you can generate thousands of dollars passively from a vending machine. You can talk to your people at the pools. You can talk to mechanic shops. You can talk to pretty much anyone to try to put a vending machine. You can even try to put it outside your house if the HOA lets you. But I don't know. That's just, up to you. So vending machine is number one. Laundromats, it's number two. Laundromat has, according to the research I found, has a 95% success rate over a 5-year period. And it's recession proof, it said. And so if you want to have a 95% success rate, laundromat pretty much is another good one to do. But it's mostly passive, right? The machine does all the hard work for you, drive it close. You just have to make sure the machine runs. We can look up how much laundromat costs and see. Man, this AI bot is going off on my computer. and see how much a laundromat for sale in Houston is real quick. Just let's see, business for sale. I'm just looking up, see what they have for sale. I'm not gonna buy a laundromat. I think manning it will be more of a pain for me, but it has a very high success rate according to the research. And there's always laundromats for sale, all range. It does have a kind of high cost going in sometimes, but you know, most people take loans for it. You know, it might be something interesting, but it's one of those things that you have to look at it yourself. I found one in Houston. It says it makes 65. They want 65,000 for it. The cash flow is $45,000 a year. So it makes you like 75% of your money every year. So you get a pretty good return. So your expense is 80K a year and you make 45,000. That's not bad. You know, it even gives you a list of everything that's here. So it looks like, if you want to open a laundromat, you got a 95% success rate. And I'm not making up these number, guys. It's off of LoopNet. They have to verify this, I think. And they make pretty good money. Rental property is another one, but it has an 85.3% success rate. I'm getting out of the rental market. It's just too much. I got a loan and all that stuff. It's a great business. It did have good cash flow each month, but the downside of it was too much for me, and I pretty much broke even on all my properties, made a little bit of money, but it has 85.3% success rate, so it's not bad. So if you trying to get into rental property business, I'm pretty much gonna worry about it later. But it has 90% success rate, or 90% of all millionaires become through owning real estate. Same thing like me. I made a good amount from real estate, and I just don't want to stay in it because I need to focus on one thing at a time. You can't really do a lot of entrepreneurship at the same time, or some of your business is going to fail. So before you start any of these business, even though it has a high success rate, you have to make sure that you have the time for them. Real estate property was not as passive as I thought it was going to be, and that was the issue. And I read it was passive income, but I tried to self-manage and tried to do Airbnb, and it was just too much for me. It just couldn't keep up, and that's why it gave me a headache. And then Airbnb at the time was giving me this big ass headache because they kept throwing parties, kept getting the cops called, and I kept vetting through them, but hey, they just kept getting through, and Airbnb was just not, returning the money as is. And then the other issue I had was, my rental property, the AC went out, and then that ended up making me paying like $10,000 that year. So I pretty much went negative because I had to repair AC that year. So there is, a bunch of bad things that can happen. And that's with all these businesses. But I'm not trying to sit there and, self-run it either. So if you're trying to get into real estate, it is a good one. It does have an 85.3% success rate. Now, the next one is a self-storage unit. And self-storage has a 92% success rate. And you don't really have to worry about tenants, trash, toilets. Self-storage facility is a great option for you because it's resilient to most markets. And it's not that hard. They can get in and do their own thing. And, you can make pretty good money. Now, the return might not be as good as you want it, but it is a good, return. I can look it up on Let's see what's for sale. Okay. Living. Hold up. Let me see. Self storage. Dun dun dun. So self storage for sale, license and lease. Let's see. Self storage facility. Let's see what's for sale, guys. Let's see. I just want to see. Yeah, there's still. I mean, find something that's more local, kind of local. Man, that the entry point for self storage unit is pretty high. Um, so this is just a local area. They have one for 419 with a 5.7 cap, which that's 5% on your money or 6% on your money every year. 1.2 million, you get about 8% on your money. Yeah, so it does have some low entry points. When I mean low, it's like 500, 600,000. Oh, look, there's 300. So it looks like you still have to. Oh, this is an auto salvage yard. So it looks like you still have to build your storage unit on this one, and it costs almost 400 or 350,000. So just know that if you want to get into self storage, it has a pretty big entry point for it. Now, the next one is a transportation business. You know, it's a 76.4% success rate, and it just does pretty well. You just have to make sure your broker and is doing well and pretty much manage your money properly, and you be very successful in the business, and make sure you don't pick up any bad loads, because you just have to be very efficient with it, and you can run a very successful transportation business. It has a 76% success rate, so that's pretty good. Now, it could mean all different type of transportation. Like, you can do little transportation. Maybe they're counting Uber on it for side hustle on the weekend. Maybe they're counting long hauls with 18-wheelers. But according to the research, it's 76%. And if they do count Uber, it's really not fair to count it, but you have a high success rate in Uber. Most people in Houston, they make about $52,000 a year doing Uber full time. I asked a few Uber drivers, about 20, 30. They all told me about the same thing. If they do full time, they make about 52,000 of profit every year, and they set their own schedule. So yeah, if you want to do in Houston, that's the average that people have been telling me. Now, is it feasible to make $52,000 every year with Ubering? I think so. Can you make more money doing truck driving? You can, but you also can make less money. It depends on who you are and what loads you are picking. So another one is agriculture business. So agriculture is always highly resistant. They have a 88% success rate, and as long as you have a green thumb and you're not killing your plants or your animals, you have an 88% success rate. Now, that does not include, I don't think it includes if there's a bad storm or something, but there are always subsidies that the government gives you. So agriculture has an 88% success rate, and you can just go buy farmland, go out there and try it. And there's always a need of farmers and local food. So it's not a bad business. Now, is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. Because you know what's the the number one happiest people in the United States is? Farmers. Yes, it's farmers. The happiest people are farmers for a career. So if it's a 1% chance that you're happier and it's giving you money on it, cool. But they have a very high success rate of happiness. That's kind of something worth it. So yeah, just know that farmers are very happy. And just for a side note, another good business, and it's just a bonus, it's a dump truck business. You can make pretty good money with the dump truck. You just need to make sure you get a dump truck and you can afford it and keep the upkeep. But you can make pretty good money on dump trucks. That's counted towards transportation. That's just a bonus. But yeah, those are my 7. Success rate are pretty high. They're all above 75%. And if you get into one of those, you have pretty high success rate of being successful in the business. Now, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for another video. Comment below.